Good evening and welcome to Women Crushing It Wednesdays. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week. Oh my gosh, we had some great fights last weekend, like so many cards. Nika had to do some business somewhere, and then my girl Esme, she had to take care of some stuff. So I have my girl MC. She's here with me, co-hosting. How are you tonight, ma'am?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. It was a great weekend of boxing, so I'm ready to break it down.
Heck yeah, absolutely. So if you can look down at the ticker, I've got her YouTube channel. Be sure and check her out. She's doing great things. You know how we love to support women. So she was definitely on our radar. So check her out, look at her page. And I want to just give a quick shout out to Johnny from Combat Talk, Johnny's Combat Talk and News, because even though he went to sleep, he wanted to come in and like an hour ago. So thank you so much. Everybody hit the like button. Absolutely. Saludos, Jesus. So MC, you actually went to the top ranked card in New York. Is that correct?
Yes, so we were planning on going to a big event towards the last quarter of the year, and we were hoping that that was either going to be the Tank versus Brian Garcia or the Crawford versus Spence, and neither of them happened. So, what was the next best thing? That was that ESPN card that they put together with so many great fighters, young fighters, and of course the main event, Teofimo Lopez.
Yes, yes, it was freaking awesome. I
Mhm.
just saw clips of it and I saw a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people were worried about Tio. How did he look in his performance, in your opinion? Did he look like there was something going on, or did he look like the regular Tio to you?
I He definitely didn't look like the normal Tio. He did not look like the Teofimo Lopez that beat Lomancheco, where he became unified champ, right? So I think he did win the fight. It was a close match. If this would have been a 12-round fight, I think it would have been closer than the scorecards. One of the scorecards said it was. I gave Sandor Martin the last two rounds, so I
Okay.
think that Sandor Martin was starting to get closer, and he was gonna win the rest of those rounds. I also feel that he got knocked down twice. Now there was a weird situation where Teofimo Lopez was knocked down on the second round. However, he didn't really stay down on the ground for a very long time. The ref didn't even get to count the 10 seconds. Instead, he went back, and the knockdown happened to be very early in the round. So it almost didn't seem like it was an 8-10 round. It almost seemed
Ah,
like it was an 8-9 round. You know what I'm
really?
saying? Just because of the way that he was kind of able to bring it together. So there's a lot of different ways. I also feel like there was a swing round. Round number 8 was also a swing round. There was also a knockdown that didn't get counted. So it was definitely a close fight. I knew that Sander Martin being a late replacement, this is not the person that Tofimo was originally gonna fight, right? So
Right, right.
the
Yeah.
fact that yes, he was a late replacement. He's also a southpaw. That's not the fighter he was gonna fight. So I think that it was a tall order.
Okay.
We wish it would have been a better performance because of the fact that the 140 weight class is a very hard weight class right now.
For sure.
So is he ready
Absolutely.
to face those other guys?
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. It's a tough weight class. And I just don't know. I want to get back to Tio, but Boxing and Barbecue says great points. Now can we back up and talk about that jersey? Yeah.
Thank
Hello. The
you.
Cowboys, baby. We're both from Texas. So absolutely. We love them boys.
What a game.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. What a game. But I wanted to ask you, so a lot of people are like really concerned that at the end of the fight, Tio looked to, I'm not sure who it was because like I said, I just saw clips. That he looked to his corner saying, do I still have it? Am I still good or something like that? Did y'all see anything going on after the fight where he was like looking at his corner and like kind of like looking for some reassurance that he did a good job?
I think that internally he might have known that he didn't step up to the plate. it's hard to kind of hear what's going on in the corner when you're
Sure.
there at the actual fight, right?
Yeah.
So I did go back and I rewatched the fight, and his father was kind of giving him some type of good feedback, but he kind of couldn't just really do it. So
Mm,
I'm not really sure if something's going on with him. I am not a doctor to be able
right.
to say something like that. I
Right.
think that, you know, Teofimo made it all the way to the top. He was at
For
the top.
sure. Since the
It's lonely
amateurs.
up there. It's
Yes.
lonely up in the top. And not only is it hard to make it up to the top, it's harder to stay up there.
For sure. I mean, I think it's harder to stay there than to get there. You
Exactly.
have so much pressure. That's the way I feel. And everybody talks about mental health, which I am like an advocate. Like, it's so important. I mean, it's important for we people that have quote unquote normal jobs and live a normal life, but for somebody at that level, it is so important for them to have that mental health. And I believe that just from the look on his face, I mean, I felt bad for him. Like I really did. Um, Mike Ramirez says, I think Lopez Sr. needs to step aside and let someone else work with Tio. Do you have thoughts on that? Have you thought about that, or what are your opinions on that?
So, funny story. Teofimo, we actually watched this fight on the night that me and my husband had our wedding party because we're such big boxing fans.
Yes.
And I love the younger version of Teofimo Lopez. The night that he beat Lomachenko, it was like, whoa, he's
Yeah.
such an amazing fighter. This guy's here to stay. He's going to make history. Like, he was great. But that is not the type of performances that we're seeing now. It could possibly be the fact that maybe his father is not being able to teach him anything else like he needs to do. I personally think that there's nothing else, there's nothing wrong with bringing in another coach for some type of other type of feedback. Sometimes somebody can tell you something that another person's not seeing. If
Mhm.
something's wrong with you, like when you're sick, don't they tell you, hey, maybe you should go look at another other like
Second
diagnosis?
opinion. Yeah.
Yes. So no one's ever gonna be able to replace Senior as his father. That is his father. No one can ever take that role. And I think that if he understands that the best for his son is maybe to have just someone else there, maybe someone that brings that balance,
Yes. Yes.
it could be a better outcome next fight.
And I agree. And I think as a son, as a child of your parents, it's like it's so hard to I don't want to say fire, because you're not firing, but like to say, hey dad, like maybe we need somebody else, because that's your dad. I really believe that needs to be senior saying, hey son, I've taken you as far as I can take you. Now we need to bring in somebody else. And I know a lot of father and son duos, and some have done that and some have not. Even coaches that, like, they can
Yes.
only take their fighter to this limit, and then it's time to say, hey, we might need somebody else. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't mean you fail. It just means that
Correct.
your boxer is growing, which is what you want. Righty Yogi, hello, saludos. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. Mike Romero says yes. So I really believe that it's going to have to be his dad to say, okay, son, like I'm still
Yeah.
here, but I'm going to just sit back. But unfortunately, and this is me speaking, I don't speak for the panel, I speak for myself. I believe that his father loves the limelight so much, because if you want to interview with somebody, you can always get an interview with his dad. He is going
Yeah.
to be right there in the limelight, while his son is in the back. And I don't think that he has the capability to sit in the back seat. But that's my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. You know.
No, that's something hard to do sometimes, even as a family member, right? You hear some athletes where their brothers are like out there, and you're like, what do you mean? You're not even the real athlete yourself, right? So, and that's why I'm sorry, but Floyd Sr. and Floyd Mayweather have been one of the best father son dynamic, but even themselves, they had their own personal issues for a
Sure.
certain period of time in their career.
Yep,
So
that's
it
true.
just goes to show you how crazy the dynamic is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's not too many that are a perfect symphony, with Devin Haney and his dad. I mean, they're doing good. Sometimes
Yes.
I think that Devin's dad talks a little bit more than maybe Devin would. And then of course Devin's like, oh yeah, let me, you know, but so far they're working. They're working. Joe Rome says most definitely it will only help them both. They both learn and grow from a top trainer. Absolutely, because there are people that have been doing this. They do this. They have champs. They've been there.
Yes.
They can give advice. But the thing about it is, people cannot swallow their pride. They cannot say, you know what? I don't know everything. But
Yes,
who
it's hard.
does? Who does know everything? Nobody.
That's why,
Um,
again, it's hard to stay up there in the top. You gotta still somehow be humble and be
yes.
willing to still take that advice from other experts.
Absolutely. And the more money involved, the worse it gets.
Yes.
Roddy Yogi says Lopez Jr. is living his life through Lopez Sr. is living his life through his son. He's not doing the step aside, even if it benefits Teal, whom I want the best for. Absolutely. I mean, I have kids, I have grandkids, and I mean, I want the best for them, and I'm going to do whatever I got to do. I have a gym. I have
Yes.
boxers. I want to do the best for them. And they're not even my children.
Yes.
If I can only take them so far and we got to call somebody else, let's do it. Boxing Barbecue said, I didn't see him jump in front of the camera when Tio was doubting himself. You're not lying. You're not lying. Like the last episode when he was right there. For sure. Long live boxing. What's up? Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody hit the like button. Shout out to the entire chat. For sure. For sure. He was definitely MIA. Definitely he was. But I want the best for him. I've been around. I'm glad he's back with his wife. A lot of people have the negative opinion of her. I've actually been
Yeah.
around them. She's
I
very
don't.
sweet.
I think that is the mother of his child. I
Yes,
think I'm glad that they're trying to work her. I'd rather see him be trying to work things out with her than being out in the club or doing other things. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
I definitely don't think that that's necessarily the issue. This might be a two-layer situation
For
where,
sure.
yes, now he might have more doubt as far as like maybe his physical attributes now because of what happened this weekend. But I think that the fact that he was with his wife when he beat Lomachenko. And I even said, I'm glad that he's with her. I think he always kind of wanted to be a family man.
Oh,
So I
absolutely.
don't think that that's a bad thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that too. So a lot of my USA babies were on the card too. Team USA. So
Love them all.
were there any standouts to you on the undercard?
I mean,
Yes,
Jared
you do.
Anderson. Jared Anderson, wow.
Yeah,
He is definitely the future of the heavyweight division. He will
I
be,
agree.
I think, in a few years, undisputed USA champion. Like,
Yes,
I think he's
absolutely.
that good.
He is. No, he is. Lee, yes, I do have grandchildren. We just had number 12 2 weeks ago. Woo!
Wow.
A little girl. Yes.
He's a hot
Um, you
grandma.
know, absolutely. So I was blessed enough to be, a coach. I'm still a coach on Team USA when Jared was there. And the thing about him is he was he was a heavyweight, but he was always so fast and so
Extremely.
strong. He does not move like a heavyweight,
I think
and
he's
he's so
very
young.
agile.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
He, like you said, he's so fast, and the heavyweights that we have right now, unless you're of course Usyk and Tyson Fury, Wilder, I don't think that they're ready for the type of speed and stamina that he's gonna bring into the ring.
Right.
He's so young and he's only gonna get better. He's
Yes.
extremely hungry,
Yes.
and
Yes.
he has the right, and I think he's at the right gym, not to mention.
Oh, for sure. With the right trainers. Kay Karoma is one of the trainers, and he's amazing. I've worked with him for years, and in the past, he's amazing. He definitely is at the right place. My friend Crystal, yes. Hello, ladies and gentlemen in the chat. Thank you for tuning in, my girl. So YK Mel said that she wouldn't let dude hold his kid. She's tripping. That's not true. So in that where they were in New York, the commission would not allow children under a certain age
True.
in the ring. So that is bogus, YK Mel. So don't
I
blame the
wish
woman.
Top Rank would come out and clarify that for him.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yes, it was. Thank you, Mike. Yes, it was the commission. It was not the baby mama. You know, she's there. She went to the fight. She took their son. If he wants to have his son in the ring, then they're going to have the son in the ring. But the commission would not allow it. So that's not good. Boxing barbecue. Seeing him in Tulsa, it's different when you see Jared Anderson live. I can't wait for what's next for him. He also has some exciting walkouts. Oh, he does. He's so funny. He really does. He's always been a character. He's very confident, which I love. And
Definitely.
it's not cocky, but it's
Cockiness. It's not.
confidence. Yes.
And there's a very thin line, and he's able to do just that. But when he goes in the ring, he's like a different guy.
Yes.
I personally, next year, I want to see him fight against someone like Herkovich.
Oh.
Herkovich is not going to be able to fight. Even Triple D, Daniel Dubois, the guy that's from England, I personally think that he also can beat him. I think that Zhang, I think he's injured right now, so I don't think that he's going to be getting a fight anytime soon. But my prediction is that Jared Anderson will be in the next undercard of Tyson Fury in England or in Saudi Arabia, wherever they fight.
I'm with you, girl. I believe it too. He's coming up fast, and he's able to handle the opposition that's sitting in front of him. He really is. I was so upset that Shushu wasn't on. Something happened with his opponent, but I know Tiger Johnson was on there. Let me see who else fought.
Xander Zayas, another top contender.
Xander. Yes.
He didn't get the stoppage. He went full decision. Of course, he won every single round, but he was walking him down. He did get a knockdown, I believe, on the first round. So he kind of could have finished him on the first round, but it ended up going the full eight rounds. But I don't mind. I think it's great if he can get those rounds in. At the end of the day, he looked amazing. Is he better in his craft? Yes, he's better in his craft. He's going to be a problem at 154.
And he too is so young. You know, he too is so young. He has so much ahead of him, and he's already accomplished so much. He's the nicest kid. I mean, he is so fan friendly. He's a great performer. He comes from a good family. The guy is almost like everything that you want in a champion. You know, he really is. Lee says to me, Jared Anderson should drop the big baby nickname because it's too closely associated with Jarrell Miller. Yes, it is. My suggestion, Jared A-Train Anderson has a nice ring. Yes. You know what, Lee? It does. And I'm going to call Kay tomorrow. I'm going to call his coach. I'm going to say, Lee Groves suggested this. And if y'all like it and y'all take it, y'all better give him that credit. So I'm going to call him tomorrow.
Jared apparently even said that he would fight the other big baby for the name.
Yes, I would like to see that too. And we've been on 2 cards with that other big baby, and he's cocky. He's a cocky.
No doubt.
But you know,
he's like suspended and stuff. So yeah, totally.
Yes. So what did you get to see? Did you get to stay for everybody that fought? Did you see Tiger Johnson?
Yes, I was able to see Tiger Johnson. He was the other person that got the stoppage. Keyshawn Davis also had a great performance. He had a guy named Carlos Burgos who also fought Devin Haney a few years ago. So that was a good measuring stick. It also went full distance. But again, he won every single round. Sometimes you gotta get that work in.
Yes, for sure. So Bomac and Issa, well, they were with Bud in Omaha, and then Coach
Yes,
Red and Coach Al were with Keyshawn, um, which I mean, to me that was amazing because he's with B&B also. He's also with the Crawford
correct.
camp now. And it was I heard that it was really a great performance, especially with the opposition. They're testing these young guys. They're like, you know what, we signed all these Olympians, and now we're going to see what they're made of. And they're starting to put real live bodies in front of them, and they're
I
proving.
see Crawford in Keyshawn so bad.
I heard that. I heard that. That's good that you say that. I heard that too. But I heard it from their side. So I'm glad you're saying it. So you saw that.
Yes, his body, the way that he works, his attitude in the ring, he's just gonna go in there and finish you. He's got the dog, just like Crawford.
Okay. That I like that. I like to hear that. And my girl Esme, hi. Thank you for coming in. Drop your gems, girl. Whenever you hear something, let us know what you're thinking about. Yeah, I had heard that too, that he looked really good and that he did look a lot like Crawford. And that made me really happy. Um hey, as we hope you're feeling better. Let me tell you something, long live boxing. There's something going around. Like I got my tissue here, and I got my wine because my great grandma told me that if you're sick, drink wine because it's good for the blood, and toilet tissue because Kleenex. Who buys Kleenex? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who buys Kleenex for real? Unless you have guests, but that's me. Um, okay, so Dana Jones, he's talking about Andy Cruz. Ain't nobody beating Andy Cruz at 135. So Andy Cruz, as we know, the Cuban Olympian, and Keyshawn fought him, I want to say 4 times.
Yes,
We never got the decision. But you know what? It's a new day. It's a new day. These are the pros now. And let's see. Let's see what happens. Maybe down the line. You never know.
I think there's two rematches that we would like to see there, as far as like maybe an Olympic revenge. Maybe that will be Robensi Ramirez versus Steven Stevenson, and of
Yes.
course, Keyshawn Davis against Andy Cruz.
Oh yeah,
That's
for
a
sure.
story to tell.
Oh, it is a story to tell. And I was blessed enough to be there for two of those. Well, no, actually three, because of the last Olympics. But you know what? I love the style. I love the Cuban. I nothing against the Cuban boxers, but it's like judges and people, they already like favor them. It's like, there's certain countries in the amateurs that are already favored, and it's like no matter what you do, because I think that we could have like scathed through a couple where Keyshawn should have had his hand raised, but that's me. Maybe I'm being biased. I don't know. I
He'll
don't
get
know.
his get back.
Oh, for sure. Like, and the confidence that he has right now, and the team that he has, it's like the sky is not the limit. He's going to keep on going. Um, so writing Yogi says Keyshawn Davis is living up to the con Aaron, that weight class. Have you noticed that? I'm not sure what you're saying. Let me see. And yes, Lee, yes, sorry to hear that. Yes, poor Esme, she's been sick too. So we're just everybody. I went to Omaha and it was just cold as balls. And I'll tell you what, it was raining and cold, and I got sick. Sick for sure. But it's all good. And then so I wanted to also talk about um the Crawford fight. Rematch with Andy
Yes,
Cruz. Yeah. Rematch with Andy Cruz.
we need that.
¿Quién la
Hi,
nueva dama? MC. There, right
hola
there is our
Santiago.
YouTube page. Please
Yes, make sure
subscribe,
to follow my channel, guys. It's
follow,
the
like, share, subscribe. Absolutely. Do it. But so I went to the Crawford fight in Omaha. And it was so electrifying. I mean, the stadium, it went up like all the way to the rafters. And there was people there, like from the tippy top to the very bottom. It was packed. And it was packed early. Like a lot of times, I don't know how it was at the Top Rank show, but usually whenever the undercard comes on and like the
Yes.
untelevised, there it's empty,
Yes.
and then it starts filling up later, like towards the main event. Not here, honey. They were in there at 5:30, packed, and it just kept getting better till like 7 o'clock. It was unbelievable. How the electricity, the fans, the everything. They wanted to see their hero. And all the guys on the undercard too. Like they had their guys too. Some of them were from Omaha. It was
Yes.
absolutely electrifying. It really was.
I'm sure you guys even had a few of UFC fighters out there just because of the fact that Cyborg was on the card. I'm sorry, but for some people, that might have been
Yes.
their favorite fighter. So if they get an
Yes.
opportunity to go see something like that, they're gonna go to that, right?
Yes. And people were criticizing Cyborg, saying she can't box, she can't do. The girl boxed. I don't know if you saw any highlights, or you went back. The girl boxed. She boxed very well. I was so impressed with her. Even the other girl was like, man, I'm going to go through this girl. And I'm like, okay, she's tough as shit. But okay. But she boxed. She looks really good. Lee Grove says, Keyshawn is my prospect of the year. Top Rank really showed faith in him by putting him in with 44 fight veterans who never been knocked out, and he justified their faith with his dominance. That is so true. And I know right now, Top Rank is having like a prospect of the year competition. So vote.
Yes.
Let's vote. If Keyshawn is your guy, let's vote. Dana Jones, have you seen 17-year-old Cuban El Puli 23 yet? He's 3-0 welterweight. I have not. I'm gonna have to
I haven't either.
check him out. Well, I don't know what this means, boxing and barbecue. So Omaha fans are like, Bob Aaron, what you mean? What you mean?
Yeah, we don't know what you mean by that.
Explain yourself. Explain yourself. They say there was a concert at Crawford fight. Let's just I mean, when he walked out, he played Bobby Brown, My Prerogative, which like took me back. And I thought it was so like appropriate for him. It's his prerogative to make that $10 million. And
Amen.
He did just that and got the money before the fight, before he even stepped in the ring. So if that's what you're talking about, but I don't know. There was no concert. There wasn't. Roddy Yogi said Cyborg did a great job. She's a real boxer. She really is. I'm gonna have to hold on, let me clean my nose.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, Crawford gave the people exactly what they were there for. He put an amazing performance together. I think it was a sold out arena. Have the pay-per-view numbers been released yet?
They have not. And I'm very curious to see. And I also want to know what the numbers were at the gate, because I'm telling you, people were hanging from every window, door, and like there was not one empty seat that I could see. Not one. I mean, they were there. Yes, Esme. I actually like Cyborg. She's also very nice. She's so nice. She was so fan friendly, and that helps because you know what? We want our heroes to be fan friendly.
Yes, for sure.
Speaking of fan friendly, so Christy Martin and her wife Lisa were there, and Christy Martin, Christy Martin and Wolf. They're like my favorite boxers ever in the world, and she too, like the nicest.
Aww.
And she was doing interviews. She was like commentating. She was doing some things, from BLK Prime, Zab Judah, there oh my God, there were like so many stars there, so many. It was like a reunion.
I did see Shakur Stevenson was there. He was there to support, of course, Crawford. Also, Regis Progress was also there.
Yes, absolutely. He was. Yes. the real Rick Ross, Freeway. Oh my gosh, somebody help me. I forget his name. Um, I don't know about this fight, Esme. But yeah, there were so many, and I was so happy to see everybody come together to support this. We don't know much about BLK Prime, but you know what? We know about boxing. We know about our favorite boxers. So why
Yeah,
not support the cause?
exactly.
You know, will they make it? Will they not make it? Who knows? Who knew that Top Rank would make it? Who knew that, Golden Boy? Who knew that the Zone, like anybody? But you know what?
Yeah.
We are boxing fans, so we're gonna go. Lee Grove says Bud's task besides winning was to prove that he still got it. After your way, he did just that. Spence will have to do the same. And if he does, then Spence Crawford's shelf life is lengthened. You're right. And so speaking of that, so the day that Crawford fought, Errol Spence, God bless him. I'm so glad he was not injured, but he was in a car accident, number one. Number two, he dropped his shirts, his new shirts, where he had, Crawford
Yeah.
behind the door and this and that. So that tells me, and y'all, I'm reading between the lines, and y'all tell me too what that means.
I
That
don't
this
think the
next
fight's
year,
happening.
I think it's going to.
I don't think so. I think there's too much bad blood. The respect has already been lost. And at the end of the day, Crawford feels that he doesn't need Earl Spence to secure his legacy.
He doesn't. But I really believe, and this is my opinion, that it will happen. I'm gonna tell you why. Because money talks and bullshit walks. I believe if the money is right for both sides and everybody's happy in the negotiations, that they will happen. Because nobody in boxing, no boxer is scared of the other boxer. Spence is not scared of Crawford. Crawford is not scared of Spence. It's the powers that be that don't want to lose money, or for their guy to lose the O. But Crawford is on his own now. Spence, he's not. He's got somebody he has to answer to.
Exactly.
So let's see what happens. Jesus says, Christine, can those Crawford fans travel to Texas Cowboy Stadium for Spence fight? For if he fights Spence, oh, trust me,
Yeah.
they will be there. They will be there, and they will be there deep. Trust me.
He's got a Texas fan right here. I actually think Crawford. I actually have Crawford favorite, and I'm from Texas, so
Yeah,
Crawford has fans everywhere.
that's my guy.
He was
Yeah,
a pound per pound.
yeah,
So, and I agree, there is money to be made in that fight, but sometimes, like unfortunately for a very long time between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, it didn't really come about the money in some whenever they were negotiating. It was just a matter of like, I'm not gonna give you that, so I'm not gonna fight you. I think
yeah.
they both
It's
have
got to
other
make
options.
sense. It's got to make sense. It's got to make sense. And thank you, Boxing and Barbecue, for coming in. I appreciate you
Yes,
so
thank
much.
you.
But it's got to make sense. And the thing is people were talking about the legacy. Neither one care about the legacy. It's like they have a real dislike, and they have a real want to fight.
Yeah.
And so they don't care. They don't care about the legacy. Oh, good. Yay.
Thank you. I love Alejandra Guzmán. Me gusta mucho Alejandra Guzmán también. Gracias.
Yes. Yeah, money talks and bullshit walks. I mean, it is what it is. Lee Grove says Bud isn't afraid of Spence. Spence isn't afraid of Bud, but their management terms are afraid of what will happen if their man loses. You're right. Oh my God. Yes.
I agree.
That's
I
exactly
also agree.
right. That's exactly right. So, you know what? It is what it is. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the new year brings. I believe that was a message, like a little carrot waved in front of our face. When Spence said, "Drop those shirts," when he dropped them and said, and had Bud behind the door, whatever. I believe he's teasing us, like, you know what? No, it's going to happen. We're working it out, because I know he wants it to happen.
Unfortunately, this car accident to me changes things all over again. And I understand that he wasn't injured physically where we could see it.
Right.
But last time we also thought he was okay.
Yes.
So to me, This is just another. Now I need another, not necessarily tune-up, but now can I really throw you in there with the undisputed champ and the pound per pound guy after he's on a 10th
Right.
consecutive stoppage?
Right.
I don't know if I can.
Right.
Maybe I'll just give you Keith Thurman instead.
You know, it's so funny because I'm hearing from insiders that absolutely not. He's not gonna fight Thurman. Absolutely not. It's not gonna happen. But I'm like, who else could he really fight right now that wouldn't be? I mean, I know that people said, oh, Bud, you know, fought this tune-up, which I mean, David had a great resume and
Exactly.
he was number 2 for a long time and nobody would fight him. But and so whatever tune-up. But the thing is that who could Errol fight right now? Like who could he fight right now? And like I mean, who? It almost has to be, you know, Thurman, you know.
I think it's gonna be hard to find another opponent at that level where he's gonna be able to not only test himself but also provide a good show where people want to buy that pay-per-view, because we know that Spence fights on pay-per-view. He does not
Right.
fight on regular TV. So
Right.
what's gonna make us want to buy that, right? So I think the Keith Thurman fight makes sense. Now, of course, this guy has said many times, I'm not gonna fight him. People have said he'll fight Virgil. I don't see Al and Oscar working together for that fight, just because of the fact that that's a big Texas showdown that they can marinate a little bit longer and they could have maybe at 154.
And it doesn't make sense because what Virgil is very talented. He's up and coming. He's a badass. But what does he have to help Errol? And it's too big of a risk for him to fight Virgil and possibly not win. It's too big. It's too big. And yes, Crystal, stay busy, fight, not a tune-up. Absolutely. Get the bag. Absolutely. But it doesn't make sense to fight somebody, or even Boots Ennis.
Well, Boots doesn't fight already.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because there's too much to lose and not enough to gain, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's Riding Yogi says, Crystal, everybody is a tune-up to these bozos if it isn't their choice fighter. Yeah, it's true. Oh my gosh. Yeah, valid point. That's true. Except for their favorite fighter, they're doing to stay busy and not a tune-up. It just depends on what side you're on and who you like. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I just think that it only makes sense to fight Thurman because like you were saying, and like I say, like there's too much to risk to fight Virgil and Boots. It really is.
I think Keith Thurman is a good opponent. I don't necessarily think that that's a bad test. So I think that would be a good fight. It would sell.
Oh, it would definitely sell. Absolutely. If I'm available to go to that fight, I would go to that fight.
Yes.
Like, absolutely. Sonteo Media said, just like it didn't make sense for Thurman to give Errol a chance on the way up. Yeah. I mean, y'all remember that, you know, get a belt. Okay, well, now what? You know, now you don't always be careful about what you say because karma's a bitch and it comes back. So it does. So Dana Joe said, I see Golden won the purse bid for Ortiz and Stanonis. Okay, so Golden Boy, I like that.
I love that fight. I think that's going to be a Texas showdown. Golden Boy did come out and say that he's going to be announcing the venue here soon, but this is going to be a great test for Virgil and Stanonis himself. I think Stanonis is a great opponent. He has shown multiple times that he can step up to the plate. He's come to America. He's fought here multiple times. He's fought in Texas before. He's even lived here, I think.
Yeah,
in Texas.
I think
trained in Houston.
In Houston?
Yes, I think somewhere in Texas, but yeah, he's been out here.
Texas, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. There's a lot of boxing in Houston.
And it also shows you how Golden Boy Promotions is invested in Virgil Ortiz, because of the fact that they went out there and they did their bidding on this fight.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They weren't going to lose it. You know, they were going to do
Yes.
whatever they had to do. Which, I mean, that shows the support for their guy and how much they believe in him. And you know what? He is talented. He's super uber talented. And I want to see him. Okay, we've got our guest, Samuel Arnold III, coming on. Samuel Arnold, how are you?
Good. How y'all doing?
We're doing well. So this is my co-host MC for the night.
Hey, how you
And
doing?
Good, and
so
thank you.
I want to know how you're doing.
I'm
What
doing.
what
Nah, you can finish.
no, I was say, how are you doing? What's going on in your world today?
I'm doing good. Just getting ready for the holidays. Still training.
Absolutely still training because that's what y'all do.
Right.
You know, for those that don't know, who you are, 19-year-old, 7-0, and how many times did you win nationals in the amateurs?
7.
7-time national champ. So that is a big resume. That's a huge resume. And this last fight that you fought, I was blessed to
Yes.
be there. Co-main event to Chicken, our girl Chicken, who was the main event. And you had your guy out of there in what? Like I couldn't even like count. Like how many seconds did you get that guy out of there?
It was like a minute and some seconds, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. So MC, this guy, I don't want to say kid because he's a young man, 19 years old, and
Yes.
he's already making some huge waves, 7-0. Like that's impressive. That's super
I
impressive.
think that you guys have been rising to the level lately. We are now starting to see other fighters that are now starting to get world titles maybe at 10, 12 fights instead of you guys having to wait till you're 20 and 0.
Right.
So I'm glad that you're already starting to get those opportunities at this level, and the sky's the limit if you continue to stay on that track.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So you just had your last fight. You say you're still in the gym, you're still training because you're a great example of what boxers should do. It's like, yeah, you're not in training camp, but even though you just fought, you still got to be in the gym because you just never know. You never know what's going to happen. Who
Right.
instilled that in you?
I think it's something that just some people. Well, like my dad always taught me hard work and everything, but I feel like it's just in some people to, if you want it, then you're gonna do it yourself. It's nothing that coach can push you to do.
Absolutely. That's true. Yeah, you have to want it for yourself because
Right.
people can talk all day long, but whether you do it or not is totally up to you. You're absolutely right. So you have some really hardcore discipline. Do you feel like that discipline that you have today that started young at an early age when you were in the amateurs?
Yeah, I feel like that really trained me for this because this is much more. It takes much more discipline and focus, and just it takes a lot more toll on your mental being a pro than being an amateur. It's more just about fun. You just want to beat the number one guys. You can lose and come back and win 30 fights, lose two
Yeah.
fights, come back and win your next two fights. So that's what the amateurs was about. But this is much more serious. So, but that it prepared me for this though, definitely.
So you agree, like I believe that it really helps to go through the amateur program, before you go pro. There's some pros that have made it like back in the day and they become world champions and they're the toughest and the best or whatever. But I really believe that to have that base of the amateur program really helps you and prepares you for the pros. Do you feel like that goes for everybody? Like, you know what? Hey, if you want to go pro one day, you should really go through the amateur program.
Yeah, and I believe, well, I agree with what you said 100% because it just gets you used to boxing at a high level and having to have a discipline like going to nationals. They not letting you slide with not making weight. You got to fight the
Yeah.
best people and different things like that. Get you used to fighting people from all over the country and different styles and different looks. But I just feel like it should be required. Like I feel like they should actually make that requirement to make boxing like some structure. Like we got to go. to college to go to the NFL and things like that. I think that'll make boxing more structured to the point where anybody can't just say, "Oh, they're a pro boxer."
Man, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a great
I
point.
like that. I like that because we how many times do we see like these guys get in the ring that don't even belong like anywhere near a ring,
Right.
and they're fighting on the big stage, and it's sad.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
like funny at the time, but then it's really sad because it's like, you know what, this is life and death,
Right.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
people don't realize that.
Right. It is. That's what people don't realize, and then they don't realize how much like stuff going to actually leading up to the fight before you even step up into the ring that could like stress you out or different things like that.
What are some of the things that people don't realize that you guys have to go through before you actually even hit the canvas, for your fights? What are some of the things that pop into your mind that people need to know?
On top of you already
Oh, we got a little bleep. But yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, like we've talked about, the mental part is so important. Like
Yeah,
it is
definitely.
so important. And you have like maybe you're if you're young, 19, and your parents are going through something, or your mom or dad loses their job, or your high school girlfriend,
Yeah,
y'all break
very
up.
easily
okay.
influenced, or where something affects you. You are, and not only that, but you also have less life experience. How do I deal with this type of situations? Just because sometimes you've never dealt with them. So yeah, definitely our props to you guys, that the fact that you're able to handle all those situations. So
Absolutely.
who would you say is one of the your biggest inspirations today that you see, like world champions out there?
He's having some technical difficulties, but he'll definitely be back. Um, but yeah, people do not realize the stuff that these kids go through. Here we go right now.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Somebody kept spamming calling me.
tell them to quit calling you.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's
No, you're
okay.
good.
It's
Scam
okay.
likely. We don't want any,
Mhm.
nothing. So my question, and then MC had a question. So my question was, what are some of the things that y'all go through that people don't know? And then MC had a question. Well, I'll let her ask that
Yes.
after you answer the first question.
Okay. So the first thing that people don't know is how hard it is to even secure an opponent, because like a lot of people seen the me fight that guy, but I was really trying to fight a guy like a high level, like 11-1, 10-5. Like I had guys that was like nearly like twice as many wins as me, almost undefeated guys, like 11-1, 12-1, like some good guys like that never really lost except like on TV or something like that. But it's that I mean, on the level, unless you fighting on a big promotional card, actually like making sure the opponent's straight and comfortable and agreeing to all his terms that
Mm-hmm.
he won't training, of course, making the weight. That's what a lot of people don't see. Making the weight, I say that's number one. But just the expectations of everybody and yourself, like rising up to it, like everybody see you as this. So you gotta make sure whenever, no matter how nervous you are, when you go in there, you gotta make sure you go do it. So those are the things that I say.
That's good. That's those are great answers that people don't know. People don't know the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. MC, you had a question too. What was
Yes.
your question?
So today, with so many, we have so many great fighters. I think now definitely boxing's back. Who would you say is a big inspiration for you today? That's an active fighter out in the ring right now. Who would you say?
Uh, I say a lot of people. I'm gonna go ahead and be biased and from since it's Dallas. I'm gonna go ahead and say Earl Spence because just him, he really like he's not like a typical boxer like with this typical story of every boxer. Like I like Earl Spence because he didn't really start boxing when he was too young. He don't have like a real flashy style or anything. He just stick to what he good to, and it got him real far. You know, he got his dad in his corner like I got my dad in my corner, and he just like, you know, we went to the same high school. Of course, he was much older than me, but yeah, Earl Spence.
That's
Well,
pretty
and
amazing that
he's
you
such
guys
a
went to
big
the same high
supporter.
school.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say he's such a big supporter too. I mean, fight night, he was there in the dressing room, and he's such a big supporter, which I love. You know, the one of the many things that I admire about Errol Spence is that he always supports like the local talent coming up. Like
right,
he's there. He's there at the, I don't want to say the smaller shows, but not the top. It's not the top rank. You know, Golden Boy, Dazin, you know, it's PBC, it's these littler um local promoters
right,
that put
Yes.
on these shows, and he's there.
right. Yeah, me and Earl Spence, we got actually like a relationship. I've been knowing him for a long time. That's another reason why I look up and respect him a lot.
Yeah, no, I that was great to see, you know, the support, and for him to be there, like it really was. um but you know, I was before, whenever you were getting the spam calls, I was telling MC, it's like, you know, these y'all get these, like, if your parents, maybe, and not yours specifically, but boxers that are young and coming up, you know, they the parents, one may lose a job, or you know, your girlfriend breaks up with you, or your best friend says, you know, you don't spend any time, y'all don't hang out like with the boys anymore. You know, those are also things that affect you, you
Right,
know, when you're training, and when you need to be fighting. And one thing that I cannot stand, is when people that have no clue call boxers, you know, bums,
right,
or this and that. And I'm like, have you even stepped into a gym? Have you even smelt a hand wrap? Do you even know the things that these guys and gals have to give up in order to be where they're at?
right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's another reason, like, why even if someone try to like even if me and the boxer don't get along, or me, even if like we had, you know, some type of issue in the past, like somebody will try to ask me questions to try to get me to talk bad about him and stuff. Like, to even step in the ring, you gotta have heart. It don't matter how many times you lost, any of that. Just to step in the ring, you gotta have heart, and you take some type of skill to even go in there, because boxing is no guarantee on you can live when you get out the ring. It's no guarantee on anything. Like, even when you're a good guy fighting these guys who they say you're supposed to beat, there's no guarantee that you're gonna beat them, because all it takes is a guy to land a lucky punch, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
everything you work for your whole life can be over with.
absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Esme has a really good question. She said, with your opponent's height, was there anything you trained on differently just to be prepared for maybe lower shots? Or I guess, is there something different that you do, you know, if they're taller, shorter, like you personally, is there anything that you do differently?
Well, like I said originally, there wasn't an opponent I was supposed to be fighting. But like you said, going to nationals and stuff, you learn different styles, and you know different regions. So you know, when you fighting like a quote unquote Mexican style fighter, what type of punches they're gonna come forward and throw, and
Yep,
you know
coming.
what to be prepared for. So I'm a tall fighter, so I'm used to fighting shorter people.
You're tall.
Right. So that wasn't like anything. It's just about sparring the right people who can imitate it, and just working on it, working on like catching the punches on the mitts and things like that.
Yeah, that's it. And that's why, you know, there, I've seen, or I've heard where some coaches, they're like, "Oh, I don't watch film. We don't watch film." And I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's very important to watch film on who you're
Yes.
going to be standing in front of. You
Right.
know, what I know y'all do. You're very blessed, because your dad is right there, and he makes sure that everything is legit, A1, 100. And he is, we were talking about Teofimo Senior's dad, and Teofimo, your dad is no Teofimo Senior. He is always in the back,
Right.
quiet, making sure that you are at the forefront. And kudos to him, because that's, in my opinion, and everybody has different opinions,
Yeah.
that's the way it's supposed to be, you know.
Right. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you. So as far as the support from your family and friends or whoever, how important is that too, do you believe, for a boxer's mental and emotional stability?
I feel like that play a big part in it. If it give you a reason to, like, it give you a, like how I was saying about the expectations being set, like those are the people expectations that you want to rise up to, like your family.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to let them down, not just let them down, but you want to make them proud though. Like you want them to come to your fight and feel good, give different people that, seeing you be a regular kid hope to, one day becoming something big.
Yep. Yep, that's true. That's true. And you remember who's there. It's
Right.
like people always talk about, and you haven't experienced this yet because thank God you are on the up, and you're going to keep going. But I know boxing is a very lonely sport. It's like in the beginning, you're going to get people are going to talk about you. You're not hanging out. You're not doing this, and blah blah blah. But then you make it to the top, and then maybe you don't get the win you're supposed to win to get, and then you see who's in the locker room after that. You know,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
like the things that you guys go through is you have to be thick skinned. You have to have that mental capacity to be able to go with it, and then get in there and punch somebody and not get hit, or to make sure you don't get hurt and you go home to your family, in one piece.
Right.
So kudos. I mean, kudos to you, 100%. So let me ask you, what's next for you?
Um, I'm supposed to be having two local fights. Well, not local fights. Well, I have one. I have one a local fight in January. Then I got a like a televised fight after that in February. So
I heard about
yep,
that. Yeah, that's exciting.
yep. So
That's very exciting.
that's what I'm getting ready for now. I never stopped training. Like I was at the gym Monday after my fight. Um, so I'm not really, like, I can't say in camp. I'm just training. I haven't been sparring or anything, but I'll probably say like after Christmas, then I'm gonna start back sparring and really going full fledged to get ready for this fight in January.
No, absolutely. I totally root for you and love to see all the wonderful things you're doing and your family. And if there's one thing that you want people to know about you, like to remember forever, what do you think it'd be right now at this time?
I just say I'm a boxer, but like I'm trying to just be like an advocate for like positivity. Like people don't gotta, hate each other and all that type of stuff. So that's what I want people to know.
I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. So talk to me about this real quick. What is S3?
My name is Samuel Arnold the third. My grandpa and my dad got the same name, but then I got a cousin who's like a brander. Like he makes brands names. He come up with brand names and stuff like that. So he gave me that one for free when I was a teenager. And then everybody always called me Squirm. Like
Uh-huh.
everybody always called me Squirm that know me. So he said, whenever you turn pro, you're gonna reinvent yourself. It's this. So since I had my pro debut, that's what I've been going by. But like my family, everybody they call me Squirm, or other
Yeah,
people call me
I've heard that.
Sam. Yeah.
So S3, so do y'all have, you have a website, y'all have shirts, y'all have products.
Yeah,
What's going on with that?
I got merchandise in the link in my bio. I teamed up with millions.co. We got merchandise. We got everything really. You can check it out on my Instagram. You can click on my highlights and click the link, or you can go on my bio and click the link. I'll send you the link as well if you want to look at it. But yeah,
Yes.
everybody should go check that out for sure. We got some nice merchandise, hats, hoodies, shirts, everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. Send it to us and we'll put it out
Yes, and I'll
and we'll
share it
check it
too.
out too.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. And if people want to follow you on what, Twitter, Instagram, what are your handles? Where can they find
Samuel Samuel Arnold Samuel Arnold LLL on TikTok, and then you can just subscribe to me on YouTube at Samuel Arnold. And I appreciate y'all for having me too.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're big fans, and we want to see you make it as far as you want to make it.
Thank you.
Okay, you have a good night and Merry Christmas.
All right, y'all.
Thank you.
Okay, bye bye. So, MC, tell us. Thank you so much, first of all, for coming and co-hosting with me. I tell you what, it has been a joy, and I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. It is so good. Tell me where people can follow you, and we have your YouTube channel down there on the bottom. Tell us where they can
Yes.
find you.
So please make sure to follow my channel. You can go ahead and follow me on both Instagram and Twitter. My handle is MC underscore in the ring, and my the link to my channel is actually there on my bio. And we upload videos once a week. We do our fight predictions, and sometimes we cover the fights live. So please make sure to follow us.
Yes, please, everybody. That's great. It's been great. And tomorrow night, I am going to be on my little brother's channel, G Funky, and you can find that on all my handles. We're gonna be talking about boxing stuff, cut woman, coaching, owning a gym, all that good stuff. So please tune in. We'll be on 8 Central, 9 Eastern. So be sure and check that out too. And again, I appreciate you so much for coming on, MC. And hopefully we have you again soon.
Yes, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. You
Everybody
guys
have
have
a
a
good
good night.
night. Bye.
Thank you.
And thanks to the chat. Bye bye.